All right, what's up, my friends? Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're discussing a couple of big topics that have recently been happening in the world of Facebook that will ultimately impact how advertisers use the platform and the options that they have available to them. My name is Brian. I'm the CEO of AdvertiseMint. We are a digital agency and we do Facebook advertising all day, every day. It's what we specialize in: Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. So what we generally do is run through a couple of questions or new updates that have happened within the world of Facebook. Take question and answers that take questions that people may have in relation to Facebook advertising, and hopefully answer them on the spot. And then just try to have a good time and have fun along the way. So if you can like what you're hearing, if you're enjoying the process, feel free to leave comments below. Send little emojis across the screen. I always like those and want to catch them. So feel free to do that, and we'll go from there. So a couple quick updates in terms of new features that have come out on the Facebook platform. Now, the first one, and I get this all the time, is that people are like, man, I know Facebook's listening to me, or I never clicked an ad, and then now I see these other ads, or like they're somehow tracking me and Facebook's watching me at all points in time. And while there may be some truth to that, my first thought is, are you sure you never clicked an ad? And they're like, I'm 100% sure. Now there's an actual way to be able to find that. And this is, I think, it comes from Facebook trying to be more transparent about the ads that people are clicking on, what they're doing, their activity. Facebook will now show you a complete list of all the ads you have ever clicked on in terms of order, meaning the one that you clicked on today would appear first, then yesterday would appear next, and it would go down a list from there. So you have the ability to be able to look at any of the ads that you've ever clicked at any point in time, back in time, to be able to see them, click through to where they're going. So Facebook is now storing this and making it available to users. If you want to be able to see this on your phone, if you log into Facebook, you go all the way to the bottom. There's a little 3-line icon. Some people call it the hamburger icon. I just call it the 3-line icon. There's probably an official name for it. But if you click on that, you can look for the option that says recent ad activity. And what this will do is this will allow you to go down and scroll through all of the ads that you have clicked on Facebook in the past. So it's really cool. I'm actually, was interested, being like, oh, that's right, there's that, and I see all the different ads that I've clicked on in the past to be able to look through them. But that's something that where you now have the ability to do, and you didn't have it 2 weeks ago. So go check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Another tip that we have today is, I don't know if you guys have used this or not, which is the ability to create multiple ad sets instantly. So traditionally you have to go through Ads Manager and create them one by one. Sometimes through Power Editor you can be able to duplicate them, make your changes, duplicate the next one, make your changes. You now have the ability to create multiple, what they call variations of an ad set instantly, right from within Ads Manager. So what you do is, when you're in the account, or when you're in your ad set, you would click where it says create new ad set. If this feature has appeared for your account, to the right of that you'll see an option that says create multiple new ad sets. And when you select this, the fields will all look very similar, except for you'll have 3 additional buttons that will say add variations for custom audience, add variations for location, and add variations for age. So once you have these, you can be able to select the different type of ad sets that you want to have created based on multiple custom audiences that you've created, or multiple locations. Say you wanted to target one country versus another country, you wouldn't need to necessarily do it in 2 different places. You would just create those 2 different variations right there. And then when you hit submit after you create your ads, you would have 2 ad sets with the ads underneath each one. So incredibly powerful tool. Hopefully it'll save you some time. And it's nice to see that Facebook has launched that, and the ability to kind of create everything from the beginning. And this kind of goes to an update we did earlier in one of our previous live streams is that they're looking at some point to merge Power Editor and Ads Manager into a single tool. And I would imagine all these best of both worlds are going to kind of merge in to where we'll have a full feature set all within one platform. So that's, again, another nifty tool. If you haven't used it, check it out. Let me know how it's working for you. And then from here, we wanted to go into two kind of, these are news in the Facebook world, and two kind of big things that have happened within the last 2 weeks. There's been a lot of PR, a lot of press around these things, these two events that have happened. The first one is that Facebook removed, what I saw was, I saw this happen, and then we were looking, and then Facebook kind of did an announcement. So, saying what they had done, but they basically removed a lot of the self-reported targeting options. And these can be things like educational, these can be things like employer, these can be things like religion, that you have the ability when you're creating your Facebook profile to type in whatever it is. So like your job title, you could enter in, whatever you wanted. And I know like a lot of times when you're targeting for like a CEO or a vice president, as you're targeting or you're listing out to targeting, you'll notice some people say CEO, some people say CEO/owner, some people say CEO/president, right? There's multiple targeting options that you can go after. So what happened was there's a publication called ProPublica that did some digging, and they found, they were doing a report on ad targeting, and they found that there were certain targeting options that were available that had specific words that were, based on discrimination or hate speech. And what happened was people had gone into Facebook almost like they were, playing a prank, but this wasn't really a prank. It was deliberate hate speech, and put in some words that just were messed up. And what happened was, because of enough people did this, it hit the Facebook's threshold as a targeting option, and then began to show up for advertisers that could now advertise towards these specific categories. So this is, again, something that once Facebook caught wind of it, I feel like they made the right move, which was, until we get this resolved or can figure out how to put some kind of guidelines in place towards this, they took away all the ad targeting for these options, things like employers, education. Now what this meant is, this is a lot of B2B targeting. So, a lot of that's based, for Facebook on the type of titles that people have said that they have, or the companies that they've said they've worked for. And so a lot of that now is no longer on the table until Facebook is able to implement a solution. At some point, I would imagine they'll roll it back out, but only after they have kind of some stopgaps in place to prevent this from happening in the future. But if you are doing B2B marketing, this is definitely going to be affecting you because you're losing some of the largest segments that you have the ability to target. The other big news that kind of came out was, there's been a lot of news around, Russian trolls, organizations that were buying ads to be able to try to impact the election. What happens is Facebook has come forward. Mark Zuckerberg went live this last week where he began to talk about some of the things that had happened, that they had been able to uncover these ads. They had presented them to Congress, and basically he came and went live and discussed 10 major points that he's now going to be, or that Facebook is going to be doing moving forward when it comes to political ads. And what's interesting about this is there was a couple that feel like they could overflow out of, I don't necessarily know if this is just going to be tied to political ads or they're going to link this to all advertisers, but it's definitely going to have an impact. So let me run through them really quick. The first one was that all advertisers must publicly disclose which Facebook page paid for the post. So what happens is now, everything's going to be much more transparent in opposed to which page is actually linked to it and paying for it. And so I think what happens here is some people might be creating fake pages. Like you could create a fake, Donald Trump page or Hillary Clinton fan page or something like that and run ads under it. And so what happens is they're now trying to be much more clear about here's the actual account that paid for the ads and who is running the ads. So it's clear to consumers, is this a competitor trying to run nasty ads towards another politician, or is this the actual politician that's running the ads for themselves? So, there can be some, it's not 100% clear if I were to use another fan page and make it look like I'm saying this, or I'm a competitor saying this against a person. So those will be much more clear. All Facebook pages will show all ads currently running to any audience. Now, this is a big one, because if they roll this out for all advertisers, this means that potentially every ad you've ever run could be seen by other competitors, as well as you'd be able to see the ads that your competitors are running. So, he mentioned this in the talk relating to political ads, that this would happen for political advertising, that there is now full transparency to where you could see every ad that a certain political candidate is running on, no matter who they are or what they're doing on Facebook. So this again goes back to political advertising being much more transparent, and Facebook's taking a stand towards it. Again, this is really interesting to me, because to be able to unlock all the ads that a certain company has been running or a political campaign provides transparency, but it also provides a wide openness for being able to see what's happening inside of Facebook, and it gives you a couple more tools if you're fast and quick and able to use that to be able to improve your marketing campaigns. Another thing he said, number 3, was that all political ads will be thoroughly and carefully reviewed. So this means any sort of political advertising now has additional scrutiny that they're going to go through and have a more in-depth review process to help avoid this in the future. Again, I would imagine, again, with politics, if this does prove successful, this may overflow into other areas, that Facebook is indeed clamping down on the ads that you're running, and if they have any sort of effects on other areas. So I would imagine people that are maybe in that gray area or trying to somehow work around Facebook's ad policy guidelines, I would imagine this is now very a clear indicator that your days are going to be getting much more difficult in the road ahead to be able to run ads on Facebook. Facebook announced they're going to be hiring more than 250 employees focused around security and safety in relation to ads, and being able to kind of monitor that much more effectively. They said that Facebook will expand partnerships with election commissions around the world. So this is where they're now going to begin working with some of the electoral commissions or people working with the elections to help provide information and to be able to work with them more closely so that Facebook can be leveraged in an adequate way. Facebook will more frequently share threat information with other tech and security companies. So, they've traditionally been very closed off, keep the information internal. They're now saying we're going to begin sharing anything that looks like potential threats with other security companies that can help address them, bring awareness to them, and to help expose them as a threat or an ad that isn't necessarily correctly, so that people are more aware. Facebook will create more services to protect the online community. Facebook will engage more in political discourse. And then Facebook will create anti-bullying systems to protect against political harassment. And this is, again, a very big issue on Facebook. People that begin to state their opinions. A lot of times there can be a lot of backlash from other people or even organizations that are they build a group of people and they kind of do it all at once, where they try to go rush or bombard a certain person or figure with a lot of negative comments or the opposite of what that person is trying to achieve. So Facebook's looking to establish kind of some policies and systems to help prevent that and minimize it. And then finally, the last thing that Mark Zuckerberg said was that they're currently working to help ensure that the upcoming German elections are running without any problems. And they said that there's been nothing or no show of hacking attempts or any sort of fake ads that have been running from there. So to some extent, those are my updates for today in the world of Facebook. I do have another special announcement that's going to be coming the next time we go live. I'm super excited, but I can't tell you about it yet, but it's coming soon. So yeah, just something to look forward to. But I want to thank you guys again for joining me. If you have any questions about anything that I talked about, leave it in the questions below or the comments below, and a lot of times we'll grab them and address them in upcoming episodes. So thank you again so much, and have a fantastic day. Bye.